Kind of cool, huh? So today I'm doing something completely different that I usually do. I'm not going to touch my Moog Muse today, so a bit of a shocker there. But I'm working on a project with some contemporary music for a contemporary dance video or movie. It's like 30 minutes, and I've been using Max MSP for many years, and I drag it out of my desk at various times. It's been a while since I used it last time, but today I thought I would like to try it out and make some percussive filmatic texture. So, and what you're hearing now, I did this by training ChatGPT with my demands. I used maybe a couple of hours, and I asked it to write this patch for me, and just with just a few fixes from me. I'm not a very advanced Max user, but I've been using it for many years, so I know the basics. And I thought it would be fun to try to use ChatGPT with this. So if you go in here and look at my log for today, or my ChatGPT session, this is in Norwegian, I'm sorry, but I just started with wanted to write a fractal based patch at first, and I asked ChatGPT to give me some equations, and it did. And at first, it didn't work because the stuff that I got, the expressions that I got, was not in the right format. There was, for one example, there was a comma inside an expression, and if you've been using Max, you know that you can't have commas inside an expression because that doesn't make any sense. So I told ChatGPT that that doesn't work. You can't use commas, and then it corrected itself. And yeah, so you can see there are lots of. It's not really that complicated, actually. It's just really short patches with just an expression, a mathematical equation, and some parameters that go in and out. And I just send them to a Makenote object, which converts the numbers into MIDI, and then I send it to noteout, which can then talk to music programs or like Logic or other MIDI compatible software or hardware if I want to. But today I'm working only in the box. So, and then I dabbled some more, and I thought, well, this is just a waste of time. But I just needed a breather today because I've been working on this project quite intensively for the last few days, and I just thought I would do something else before I got crazy with just working with sound design and sometimes you don't actually achieve the goal that you set yourself, but that can be, of course, really frustrating. But at this stage, I thought that it actually did something. It accomplished something that I was aiming for, and that's, is it serendipity you call it in English? Yeah. So I felt a moment of this is really cool. But I'll just show you the way that I used to get there, and as you can see here in my chat, it was a lot of back and forth. And then I thought, okay, but if you do, I don't remember what kind of formula we were using. I think it is something called the Henon equation, which I personally don't know. I'm also trained as a civilian engineer. That's why I call myself civilian synth guy. But I'm also a trained composer, so I have these two backgrounds. But I used to be decent in math, but I've forgotten all that stuff many, many years ago. Yeah, so here it is. Am I getting it to the bottom? Yeah. And I asked Chat to export this as a Max patch, and it didn't quite make that work either, but I told it what was wrong, and then it corrected itself, and finally it gave me this. And I think this is quite impressive, because as you can see here, it has put in comments for stuff that happens. It's not all totally correct, and also it's a little bit cramped here and there, but it works. So I had to tweak it a little bit. And also, this is getting really complicated, but in Max you have something that's called coll or collection. So that's just a data collection of various stuff, and I had to put in these manually. And what you can see here is this is just MIDI notes. MIDI note 40, 41, and sequentially up to 60. So it only puts out. I can, of course, give it more, but for a percussive patch, that's enough. And it's just one note at a time. So it's monophonic. And but what was interesting was that I asked it to, can you make it so that it puts out even rhythm and complex rhythm, and also I want to have pauses, long pauses. And it did actually. It wasn't totally ready, but the way this patch is made is that you can select here what kind of random you want. Generator, and it has some kind of expression here, and scaling and stuff. And the MIDI comes out here, Makenote and noteout. And I just click here, and I can check off from Max one, and then this will be a source in Logic. If you go to track here, I'm sorry, this is really maybe totally not understandable at all, but as you can see here, if I go to MIDI input, and here's from Max, I just select all because I'm just controlling one channel. So and what is cool is that after some tweaking, and after I made this pitches in the collection, data collection, I can control the three modes. 0 is even, 1 is complex, and 2 is pause. So, and if I go into key control, I can then assign the keys on my computer keyboard. So you can also assign MIDI in Max if you like. But this is just 3 switches, and as you see, when I go, it doesn't go off, which is a little bit strange, because this is just what is called the bang, and it should turn off by itself, but that doesn't matter. And so it started to give me something that was interesting. But this patch only puts out one velocity, and if you work with percussion or drums, you won't have velocity, of course, because that's a huge part of the sound of drums and the timbre differences and everything. But I wasn't bothered. I could, of course, do that on my own, but I didn't have time today to waste anymore on this patch. So what I did was I went into Logic, and I loaded up the Action Strikes sample or instrument from Native Instruments, and to get it within range, I just used the transposer on the MIDI FX, and I used, now this is the randomizer, sorry, to get some velocity, random velocity. So it's Logic that makes the velocity go up and down, not Max. And then I also used the transposer just to get it within the right area of the plugin. So with a little bit of fiddling, I get something like this, and this is just recorded MIDI that I did just before starting this video. So you can hear the velocity really adds to the realism and the expression of the patch. Pause. Yeah, you get the idea. So I thought this was really cool. And if I just let this stay open, and I can do it live from the Max patch, as you see here. I hope. Yeah. So now the Max patch is playing MIDI in Logic, as you can see here. Kind of cool, huh? So, but I want it to be a little bit... First I want to pause. And I want to go to complex. Yeah, here. And now we go to even. Actually, this is, I have to record this, but this was quite... So I'm just recording the MIDI, so I can tweak it after. And we go to complex. So the tempo is fluctuating. And the pause. Let's see what happens. Sometimes it re-triggers on its own. Yeah, which is cool. This, I think it's really cool. Now it's even, but the velocity makes it not static. Yeah, so you get the general gist of it. So yeah, this was really fun. And it goes to show that you can use ChatGPT for quite specialized stuff. And but of course, it didn't work. So you have to know what you're asking for, and you have to, at least in this instance, you have to know the environment that you're working in, so you know that the stuff you get isn't working, and you have to know why it isn't working, like the stuff with the comma in the expression part of the patches that I got from ChatGPT at start. So yeah, but I'm really happy with this, and I hope really that I can use it. And now I have a MIDI of this last recording. Yeah, cool sounds, of course. I mean, that has a lot to do with it. This is, yeah, and it's switching between different ensembles in the plugin, so that makes it a little bit, because I used just one sound and then it got way too static, so this is much better. So there you have it. If you're using Max and ChatGPT, so try it out. I mean, it's really cool, and I think I saved some time and got some ideas that I wouldn't have gotten otherwise. So that's a good thing. Well, thank you, and hope to see you next time.